Dawson certainly had a tough loss last week. Will they be able to get back on the winners list against an emerging star side? Welcome back to the West Gippsland Match of the Round stream, brought to you by Fairhaven Homes. I'm your play-by-play commentator today, Bailey Allen, joined by my co-host Aidan Box. How's it going, Boxy?
It's great. It's good to be here at Garfield, the venue of the last three West Gippsland Football Netball League deciders. As usual, the ground's in awesome nick. The sun's just coming out now as well. We've been pretty lucky this season, had pretty good weather. Obviously, bar last week got a bit of rain in Darlaston. In that game, they were in it really up to their teeth until about three-quarter time, and unfortunately couldn't stay with the current ladder leaders and undefeated Sea Eagles, who ran over the top of them to complete the big win. I think it was around 75 points.
It was really the wet that affected them, Dalston, in the end, wasn't it? They were really competitive, but maybe just a bit of their craft going up forward turned it over a little bit. Could have been a bit smarter with the footy, but yeah, you're exactly right there, Aidan. Dalston went down to Inverloch by 68, but as we said, that score probably doesn't represent how well they played last week.
No, they've been really good, and we mentioned it last week. They've improved out of sight this season, and they are a genuine chance at that fifth spot. They're always up for grabs, like it's been mentioned so much throughout the week. That fifth and sixth spot, those final two spots in the finals, are up for grabs every year, and the Magpies are really proving themselves to be a great candidate for that. But this is the sort of game that they have to win if they are to clinch that spot. They sit fifth at the moment. They were second, obviously, before that loss last week. But they're 4-2 after that, and they've got Warragul breathing down their heels, and Narnagoon sort of out of place in eighth as well. So this is a really important win for them, because if Warragul can get over the top of Narnagoon at home today, they'll be right on them, like I mentioned. So another thing is, I was going to mention, we were talking about it off air, Baz. We've done a few games together this year, but we're yet to do a close one. I'm not sure if it's me or if it's a curse, but do you think this one will be any different?
Well, we did do the, of course you weren't there, we did the Narnagoon versus Phillip Island game, but that game wasn't even live streamed, but that was, of course, the draw. But Garfield have remained competitive despite only having the two wins this year. The difference is, apart from maybe that Narnagoon lost by 108 and the Inverloch lost by 89, they've stayed pretty in touch with most of their opponents. Even last week, they were leading at stages against Kilcunda when they lost to them by 27 in the end. But that's really something you want to see from a year-to-year difference, because last year they were just getting pumped by absolutely everyone, and this side's very young. The team sheet says that they've only got an average age of 21 years old for their players, so they're a very young side. And Dalston, who have maybe lost a bit of confidence after the smashing from Inverloch last week, perhaps this is a good time to pounce for the Stars.
Well, it's really a danger game for Dalston early in the season. It's one they have to win, like we've been talking about, and Garfield have really got nothing to lose. They've already doubled their win total from last season with 2. They were good enough to get over Bunyip, of course, and as well, they went down to Currumburrabina a couple of weeks back and got the win there. And as you mentioned, Baz, a couple of their losses to Coralline and to Kilcunda Bass last week were they're within 30 points. So that's a really good improvement. They gave up the second most points last season, over 1,800. That was only second to Darlaston, actually, in terms of most points given up. So this season their defence is something they've improved a lot. And we watched them against Narnagoon. They went down by 108 points, but they were really stout defensively that day. And already the gaps, it was 1,000 last year between points for and against, and this year it's already down within the 200 mark. So both defences of these teams today have improved a lot. I think if you are to judge it, Darlaston are probably a few steps ahead on the same path that the Stars are taking. Their defence is really stout. They held down Sea Eagles for 3 quarters, as we mentioned last week. Where they're ahead, I think, is their midfield, which they basically beat Inverloch Comwag last week through the midfield for most of the game, and their forwards are really dangerous, which is something that Garfield just hasn't got the grasp of just yet. And I think today that might be the difference. Just the big bodies in the midfield, the young age of Garfield might not be able to keep up with the firepower up forward as well. Yeah,
I absolutely agree there. I reckon clearances is probably today where this game is won. We saw against Narnagoon when we streamed the Garfield Footy Club, a lot of the issues that they had was going forward up further towards the ground. So they were getting the footy out, and they were methodically moving, and then they just really couldn't get that last kick inside 50 because you had guys like Pipicelli just intercepting the ball for Nana Goon. So what you'd like to see from Garfield today is just win the clearances at the stoppages, lower the eyes a little, and get them over your Dowson opponents. But, you know, as we mentioned, they've really been a lot better on the defensive side of the ball. Dowson, of course, they allowed 103 points last week, but up until that game, I think they'd been averaging 68 points allowed, which isn't too bad at all. But it's going to be certainly a tough task for Garfield today. But Dowson, as we mentioned before, it's an absolute must-win game, because you mentioned Warragul, Nana Goon, and even sides like Coralline, who are probably going a little bit better than expected at the moment. But, you know, if it's Coralline, they've been known to drop a couple of easy ones as well. So Coralline will probably sit around that 5th, 6th region as well.
Coralline are one of the main reasons Nana Goon sit where they do at the moment. They got over the top of them last week, I believe it was, and at Nana Goon, which was a huge game. Both of them have got high-powered forward lines. So that's a team that Dawson have defeated already this season, and it really is one of those leagues where you have to defeat all the teams that sit below you, and then you've got to take it up to the ones that sit above you to have any chance. And you saw that last week. They really did take it up to Inverloch Conwac, but when you've got teams that are that far ahead and you want to sit in the mid-table, you've got to come and win games like this. And as we mentioned, I really love to see Garfield control the ball like they have been all season, but not be wary, not be too scared of the pressure, because you know it will come. Last week, I wrote the report on the game for Kilcunnabass and Garfield, and they were right in at the Stars, but Kilcunnabass was just able to put that touch more pressure on in the final term and run away from them. And I think that's something as a young side that you can get really caught out doing. And it's no bad thing. Obviously, they're young bodies. They're probably not as fit. They're not as strong. And that's no fault of their own. They're developing and they're doing well. But
we've seen that at AFL level as well. Even Hawthorn, for example, you know, they've remained really competitive in a lot of games, and then it's just those fourth quarters or third terms that, you know, against Geelong, against the Bombers in round one. The Bulldogs even, where Hawthorn have stayed competitive, but they've just dropped off a little bit because they're such a young side. So that it's not really something I'd be concerned with if I'm Garfield, but just just a bit of a learning curve and something they'll adapt to.
One thing I'd love to see as well today is when Darlston do play on that edge and bring that aggression, they don't go over the top, because that's something that you can lose games, you can drop games like this through ill discipline. And last week they really just broke the game open IK's way, and that was much more important than it would be today. But they play on the edge, they play that aggressive style, they've got the midfielders to do it, they've got the defence to do it, but I'd hate to see them go over the edge and give away those easy frees this week. I think Dean Wiley would have really drilled into them this week. You can't do that. You've got to remain composed if they are to finish where they want to this season. So,
well, they gave away 3 50-metre penalties last week. It was just a really undisciplined, I think it was the third term or maybe just before half-time, where they just gave unnecessary goals away. So, you're absolutely right. Garfield, young team, they're going to be a bit, try to get under your skin a little bit, but yeah, you're exactly right. They've just got to keep their cool heads, the Maggies, this week, and hopefully not give away too many free kicks. Only moments away from the bounce. Dawson sitting at 5th, Garfield at 9th.
Just quickly, a couple of ins and outs. So obviously, Alexander and Hewitson make way for Connell and Ireland for Darlston, and for Garfield, Ash Russell comes back in along with Sean Marsh.
So it's certainly going to be an intriguing game of football. Dawson looking to bounce back. Garfield won in round 5 against Curramborough by 24 points. They're looking to get back on the winners list after falling to Kirribass last week. So, bit of overcast conditions here, and the wind may play a bit of a factor today. It is a little bit windy here where it's set up. The wind's just coming right behind us, so we'll see how that comes into effect. Siren goes, and we're ready to get underway. So thrown up by the umpire. Garfield looking to get the clearance out. In fact, they did. So Xing outside of the centre square. Dropped it to Duve. Clean hands Marotta. Just trying to find the wing there. They eventually got it out there through Hallahan, sorry. And then here is, I think it's Marotta again, who's just turned it over there. It's Matt Jones who's got his first touch. It was a nice intercepting mark. Then centralises a little through Zach Suter. And the kick was poor. Turn it right over to Bose. Aiden.
So Bo's kick is deep inside 50. He's got the mark inside 50. So they've struck early here, the Pies, off the turnover. Duve was sensational last week in the loss. This is Jake Barry. And Barry's shot will come from about 35 metres out. Not too much of an angle. This would be a tremendous start for the Pies on the road. Didn't kick too many goals in the final term last week. This would really get them going. His left foot kicks on the way, and it's good. They love it, and they get around him. Jake Barry draws first blood in this one.
And although they kicked only the 5 goals last week, when they moved forward throughout the game against Inverloch at home last week, they were dangerous every single time. You were always suspecting a goal to be kicked. It was just composure and just finishing the job off in the end that couldn't get them over the line. So to see kicks inside 50 like that and just perfect positionings there from Barry, that is great science.
It was an unreal lead. He read the play really well. He didn't need to come at it. He didn't need to lead sideways. He just led back with the flight of the ball and marked brilliantly there. Great finish too from Jake Barry, and the Pies are on the board.
So Jake Barry has his first 1-0-6 for Dalston. Garfield yet to score on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. Ready to resume play here at Garfield on a windy day. So Garfield win the hit out here. Still trying to release the footy. Eventually got out, so I think it may have been Nick Lang in the end. Then they're going to go towards 50, but it's intercepted and read nicely by Cooper Smith at half back. So then he goes through the middle to Marotta, who plays on and then kicks, I think it's to Curtis Murphy. In fact, it was Monson. Spinning was Hallahan, and then inside 50. Is there any real target? And that is a great intercept mark by the Stars, and that is how they're probably going to win this game as well, Aiden.
Yeah, as we've mentioned, they're really good defensively this year, and the real test is right now moving the footy up the field as they lose possession here. The big fella Thomas gets down and tries to grab it, but he doesn't quite take possession. Stars want it back, tackled by Dubin.
The one thing I've noticed so far is Hallahan is having already a massive impact, so is Murfett, whereas those two, their impact was probably a little bit reduced by the Sea Eagles last week, so that's something Garfield would probably be looking at early on as a high free kicks given away.
Another guy who's asserting himself here is Riley in the ruck for the Stars. Won another hit out there, and Griffiths won the free kick. He was taken high. So here's Mark Griffiths. He goes short. Mark not paid there, right in front of us there. That was Tennis Greeno, and he's claimed. Great tackle. And the crowd hates it, but the umpire says, I'll have it. Great tackle there from Ben Lewis. So Riley and Thomas will go it again. This time's a bit of a tie in the rock there. It's roved really well there and taken up by Distant. His kick goes nowhere though, and Smith's good enough again. Here's Harris. His kick's into the middle is a bit dangerous, but Bose will be first to it. Gets the hands off to young Max Connell. Nice move. Good hands as well. He might get it back here, Connell. No, it's Smith. Smith's left foot goes to centre half forward. No one there though. Should mop up and have time. The Stars, they do. The kick's not great. It's a 1-on-3. Connell everywhere at the moment. He tries to mop that up, can't grab it. And we'll have another stoppage here, you'd think we are. So played a few games last year. Max Connell, young 17-year-old, shows a lot of promise. Been dominating in the under-18s and showing he can do it at senior level as well. Tap goes out wide towards Suter, and he's shoved off the football. Didn't have possession. Played well against Narnagoon last time we called Garfield, Zach Suter. Got a lot of talent. He goes up to the line to Griffiths, and his kicks into the pocket, but it's marked well by Duve. Wastes no time. Goes up the line, and his kick's cut off. So a few turnovers here early. This is Jones. The long sleeves, he goes into the middle. Not the best kick, and Storr will cut it off. So 3 intercept marks in pretty quick succession there. Mason Storr's left boot will put the Pies back inside 50. He's got an option there. They take the mark. No, out the back. This is Barry. Can he get a second? No, roved well there by the Stars defender. That was tremendous.
And that's just the sort of decisions you're going to see from a young side. Like the kick through at the middle there was just not needed.
So Riley taps back really well too. The kick's outside 50, you're out of trouble for a second, but here's Hallahan, tries to get through the defender and he can't! Holding the ball! Sensational from Zach Suter.
He's played a good game so far, hasn't he?
He's really coming into his own this season. Played a lot of representative football. He goes short. And here is Lang. 4 goals last week. He's just going to go short this time. Now they've got it right in front of our broadcast position. It's still going short. This kick doesn't hit the target. Duve will mop up for the Pies. Gives it to Thomas, and he goes wide to Harris. His kick's up the line. It's marked by Wallace. Lucky he turned around there. It's a bit of a floater. He plays on, nearly runs into Murfitt. Sends it inside 50. It's the way of Barry. Over the top of his head, though. Really well rode by McLean. No. Jeez, I was getting excited there. You could have dribbled that through, but it's missed to the near side. And the Pies look really dangerous, as they did to open last week's contest, over the back when they move quickly.
And Garfield, they're just going to work a bit more on their disposal efficiency at the minute. They're just really not choosing the right options. Perhaps a little bit rushed as well, especially out here on this wing right next to our camera. So just got to be a bit more careful. But here they are, exiting defensive 50. Pickering wanted to give their hands off to his teammate, but decided against it instead. So you'll then look for Lang, but the kick went well over his head. And it's gone to Thomas, the ruckman for Dalston, who has also turned it over. So the kicking has been less than ideal for either side to start this one off. So Marsh, he's one of the ins today, kicks it down the line. He's got the open man who just lost his footing, did the Stars forward, and the ball's still rolling and dribbling around in the forward 50. It's still looking dangerous. Garfield might go towards the boundary line. Duve presenting once again. So's Bose. They've both had brilliant first quarters to start off this one, and it was read well there. The spoil there coming from Lockie Spinks, who is usually a key forward, but playing down back it seems today. So boundary throw in, inside 50 for Garfield. Thomas just got over the top of Riley there, and umpire calls for it back. 7 minutes into this one, it's been a good contest so far. Garfield's certainly putting up a fight despite the amount of turnovers. So Duve pushing through again off half back. He has been superb. And then that should be holding the ball. Umpire's not going to pay it though, unfortunately, for the Garfield fandom. Duve lost it. Ball going towards Bose. Could have been a throw. And umpire will see the throw. And it's going to go back to Dalston. Bose taking the free kick, Boxy.
So a true centre half back. He runs off his line, tries to look for an option, doesn't really get one. This ball's in the way of Monson. Playing out forward this week. Dominated last week on half back. He wastes no time and puts it deep on in again. But he's beaten to the footy there, McLean. Drops the mark though, the Stars defender. And here's Storr. Good enough from here, probably. Probably could have had a shot there. Ended up kicking it straight into the chest of Jack Barnes. And Barnes wastes no time. Getting out in the way of Jones. Can he run onto it? And he does. So up the outer wing. His kick's up the line and he doesn't find his teammate. It'll go out of bounds. So they continue to excite the Pies over the back when they get the quick and direct play going. It's certainly something they're looking to take on today. But skills haven't been really great so far in this one. Here's Duve. And as I mentioned that, his kick goes over the head of Davey and out of bounds again. So both sides cracking in really hard. We expected that. They're obviously trying to play some good footy, control possession, but the skills just haven't been up for it at the moment. Great day for intercept marking so far. It's thrown back in. Players are going in for it. Duve again probably has at least 12 touches already. Davies fighting after it and it will go out of bounds again.
He's playing a bit of a Sam Doherty role at the moment, Duve. He's a guy that, of course, started at half-back at the start of this game, but he can also go around the stoppages and win some contested footy as well.
Good tackle there from Murfitt, and that's holding the ball. So can they break it open from here? Curtis Murfitt Good season last year. His kick goes inside 50 to the pack, over the top. Couldn't quite mark. A great rove though from Davey. Handball doesn't go anywhere. They're still bubbling around for it. And good late work there from the Stars defenders to lock them up. We'll have the ball thrown up just inside 50 for the Magpies. Tap goes in the way of the Stars player there. Can't quite grab it though. Fighting for it in there. I think it was Murfitt again. Going nowhere. So as we saw last week, Dalston come out hard and a lot of contested footy. They were to force IK into a bit of a stalemate to start it, and this one started pretty similarly. There's been some expansive plays, but neither team's really been able to capitalise off them. I just think that Dalston could break it open with a couple of quick ones here. McLean and Riley go at it again. McLean mops up his own work and the umpire's found a free kick out of it. He calls play on advantage. The kick's not great though. It's another intercept mark and the Stars waste no time. Kicks releases and it's intercept mark there again. And the Pies want to use the middle, so it's just intercepts galore here. The Stars have a chance over the back. It's Sean Marsh. Can he run onto it? He's got Harris for company. He grabs the footy. He's tackled immediately. Goes again though. He's got no one really to help him there. He's Spinks, the big fella, trying to get down and pick it up. Nothing doing. The umpire swung his arms out there. Thought he was going to pay holding the ball. Doesn't though. Asked for the footy. It'll be thrown up inside the Stars forward 50 now. So that was pretty smart work from the Stars there. See that Dalston aren't scared to use the corridor though. Hasn't paid off for them so far. Here's Bowes. Long kick up the wing. Davey tries to take the mark, goes through his hands, mops up though, taken around the head, no free kick. Here's Murfitt. Tackled by two, still goes in and gets it, and he's called holding the ball. Bit of a weird one there. I think it's because he dropped it. Probably fair enough. So can they just take a bit of sting out and control the footy here, the Stars? They do so. This is Tennis Greenall. He wheels and goes. Told to put it at the backside. Kick goes deep. Oh, great mark! Coming out on the lead. Not sure who it is. I think it might be Zakari. That was a sensational mark at the front of the pack. Talk about attack on the footy. He'll be the coach's favourite player right now. He puts this one through. Kick from about 30 metres out. Slight angle for the Stars first of the afternoon. Misses across the face. That'll excite the Stars fans that have come out to watch them today though. Some great ball movement. Something we didn't see last time we called them. Lot to be happy about there, Baz.
Yeah, absolutely. So Dalston now at the wing, and that's going to be out in the full. So Garfield to regain possession here. Ryan Smith get his first touch out on the wing. He opts to go down the line, finds an uncontested man. Just, as Aiden said there, really taking the sting out of it at the moment, and then they go for a bit of a central kick there. That's still a mark. Excellent composure through the middle of the ground. I think he was looking for Jet Pickering, but they've still somehow got it, the Stars here, through Saws. And then the stoppage right in the middle of the ground as Dalston hold it up a little bit.
Should correct myself as well. That mark was Zach Suter, I believe, in the shot on goal. So we talked about him earlier. He can do it all.
So Saws fell to ground. Lang dish it off by hands, going towards the pocket. Garfield able to pick it up, a little bit of a check side, and it's going to be rushed through for a behind. I think it was
Distant, I think.
Distant, yeah. I noticed number 48 there. So Garfield, well, I should say Dalston rather, 1-1-7 to Garfield 0-2-2 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. So Clark at half back takes an uncontested mark. Opts to go up the line to Bowes, who's probably been the second best player other than Duve for the Pies. And he's got a player behind him, so he's got to get rid of it quickly. Goes through the corridor, could take a mark here, won't, but still plays the ball in front of him. Turnover though, and geez, that's a big tackle, got absolutely crunched. Duve entering inside 50. An uncontested mark there for Hayden Wallace. Now, he looks to back himself in here. A little bit of wind going towards the right and a 50 metres or so out. So it's going to need a real big kick.
Bit of a Matty Lloyd grass toss
Yeah,
there.
if I was Wallace, I'd be aiming inside left post. And he's probably just put it a bit too far left.
I think the wind died off for him there.
Yeah.
Just for a kick. It's back now. Bit unlucky.
So scoreboard now reads 128 to 022. Dalston leading this one by 6. Aiden.
So that's something that can catch you out. And I think it's probably been their biggest mistake so far, Garfield. You just don't have that time against a team like Dalston. They put so much pressure on you and they've got so many big bodies and they arrive a lot quicker than you think. So you've just got to get it off quicker. Here's Davey. Deep kick inside 50. Barry's under it. 2 on 1. Punch through from Garfield. Done really well there, the two defenders. Barry looks dangerous inside 50. Couldn't do heaps with that one. It just sort of sat up on his head. Really easy one for defenders. It was really exciting work there from Davey as the mark's taken here by Evans and he looks a bit sore. I don't think he's going to be able to take this one. He lets the umpire know. It's Lang actually. So Lang's got to palm that one off and he'll make his way slowly off the ground, I think. I hope it's not the same injury as last week. I think he rested forward last week. He finished with 4 goals, as I mentioned, as his side go inside the centre square. Here's Saws. Coach barking orders from the sideline. He goes out towards his ruckman Riley. Good mark. He's got Tennis Greenall running for him. Instead he uses Pickering and Pickering uses Tennis Greenall. So another good build up here from the Stars. Lang still hobbling off the ground. He's got a lead into the pocket. Goes for it. Kicks all right. Can't take the mark. Good late defence from Armstrong. Here's Suter again. Bounding after it. Picks the footy up. Gets the handball out. Tennis Greenall can't get rid of it though. Well done by Thomas. Picked it up off the deck. Gave it away to Hallahan and the ball goes up the line and out of bounds. So one of those things you hate to see in footy is Lang hobbles off the ground. Injuries, but in the first quarter it's just heartbreaking really. Hopefully he can get that one sort of massaged or taped up and get back out there for his side. Well done there from Marotta. He got over to Duve and the Pies are inside 50 once again, but the Stars defenders are set up well. Barry, great contest, kept his feet, tries to spin out of the tackle, holding the ball every day of the week. Jet Pickering been superb to start this one.
That has been a big plus with Garfield. Their ability to affect any inside 50 entry for Dalston has just been great so far. Their defence is working really hard as they're out here on the wing. That's a big old handball on the wing. Try to put it out in front of Evans and then kicked it forward but turned it over right to the Dalston player. So Garfield still fighting hard for it. Oh, geez, look at Hallahan, the bigger body there. Got caught up there, should be holding the ball. Took him on there, and very well-deserved free kick for Garfield, whose pressure around the ball has just been great. Faked bows out, then enters inside 50, looking for any man, and I think that's maybe Armstrong.
Harris, I think it is.
Oh, Harris, who took the mark in the back line for Dalston. So now going on the outside again, Armstrong. Spins a lot, not sure about the ball drop on that one, as Tennis Greenall is able to intercept that one easily. Calls a play on, moves past his defender easily, he was spoiled well though. And then McLean, through the middle of the ground. So, this is where they've struggled a little, Dalston and Garfield, finding that next option as they push up the field. Bowes has Duve to the left of him. Won't use him though. Instead he'll go for a long kick inside 50, looking for an option. And no, Garfield just reading the ball superbly. Chucked it on the boot though, Duve. He's going to get the free kick here for high contacts. Almost into extra time. Duve kicks, And that's a great find. It's Jake Barry there.
So we mentioned it on his first shot and goal, Jake Barry. He just always finds the space, but the right space, and the space that's going to give the kicker the best option to deliver the ball into. So it's been really smart so far. He's sore at the moment, but he's really impressed me.
And even the kick from Duve as well was perfectly put. And as we talk about Jake Barry and Duve here, it seems to be Barry is on the ground here, holding his head. He did receive a pretty heavy knock as he was taking that mark. And he's struggling to get up. He eventually has gotten on his own 2 feet, which is good to see, and Barry probably will take the set shot himself. So Barry's had a very good day up forward so far. Would be in the vote considerations in this first term. He's already got 1 goal today, looking for his second. And Dalston once again strike. And they've now got a 13-point lead.
And you mentioned, Baz, people who are probably in the vote consideration. I think Duve's right at the top.
Oh, absolutely. Him and Bose.
Coming off half-back. He played a lot inside last week in the guts alongside Hallahan, but today he started across half-back, and he's just not only been a general, but he's got a lot of the footy, and it's just the way he directs it and demands the ball and demands the path that it's going to travel in. It's just outstanding. He's been a great recruit this season for the Pies. They've loved having him. It's back in the middle now. Here's McLean. It's tapped. It's won by Riley, though. Done really well there, the Stars, but the handball miss Soars. As Bose goes in and grabs it, he's claimed immediately. We'll have a repeat stoppage. So wind not going anywhere. It's pretty chilly wind as well. It's thrown back up just beside the centre circles towards Garfield's forward 50. And again, going nowhere is Bose. We'll have another stoppage. So Dalston probably deserve the 13-point lead at the moment. They've been better in this quarter, but Garfield are no way out of it. They've played tremendously themselves. As it goes forward for the Pies again. Can't be claimed cleanly though. Big tackle, holding the ball. So Fraser West's first touch of the footy.
Oh, I hope our mics didn't catch that one.
More displeasure from the Garfield faithful, but Mason Stores on the end of West's kick. Another excellent kick inside 50 from the Magpies. Another thing they've improved on so well this season, their disposal inside 50. Probably show a lot of the teams at the top of the table how to do it, really.
And Mason Storr has just been such an improved player last year. He was the leading goal kicker for the Pies last year with 17, and he's already got 14 this year.
So this kick, very similar spot to Jake Barry's first. So Storr, another left footer, comes in, kicks on the way, looks pretty good, it's there. So that's 3 straight to start this one to the Pies. They now lead it by 19 points, and that was just unreal forward pressure and disposal from Fraser West, and the finish from Mason Storr, just something you really expect from him.
That's what I took notice of. The finish from that on that set shot was just beautiful. Nothing wrong with the ball drop. Striked it wonderfully on the laces, despite the wind. And the Pies are now starting to take a bit of a lead. Garfield must act as Murfitt's pushed to the ground by Griffiths. Thomas won the hit out. Went straight to Griffiths though, who gave it off by hands. Now trying to get the clearance here. Whistle blown. And I think it will go straight back to Griffiths. I didn't see what the free kick was for. Maybe
holding, I think the umpire was quite far away there too. So an interesting one. Great mark from Tennis Greenall.
Absolutely. So Tennis Greenall, he's got the footy here. He's going to be clever, entering inside 50. Can a contested mark be taken? Came off the hands of a Dalston player, snaps around the body, bang go Garfield. And they've got their first major of the day. Scoreboard 3-3-21 to 1-2-8 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. Garfield get their first of the day.
Well, they must have been listening to you, Baz. You said they had to act, and they did exactly that. They deserve that. They've worked really hard. That's something we talked about in the pre-game. They've barely really been out of games this season. which is such a massive improvement. The coach will be so happy with it. They show so much fight, and their intent's just tremendous. If the players don't come off, maybe they don't. You're a young side, that's all right, but it's great to see them show so much fight early, and they're still in this one for sure. It's great tap and roll from Hallahan. His kick goes deep in the way of McLean. Will he get there? Not quite. Bounces inside 50. And that's something you talked about in the pre-game, Baz. The stoppage and clearance works. This can just put you to the sword.
Yeah,
Garfield today.
That is the textbook ruck midfielder combo there. Brilliant work from Thomas and Hallahan.
So here's Thomas again. He'll go against Riley, who wins the tap. Murphy trying to make something off it. And wrapped up, and that'll do it for the first quarter. So they held up well there, the Stars. Both teams showed some really pretty footy at times. A lot of turnovers as well, a few intercept marks, and on top of it all, some sensational intent. Dalston lead at 3-3-21 to Garfield's 1-2-8 at Garfield here on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. So we've just gone one quarter, Baz. What have you seen so far?
I've seen Garfield, who have, although they're losing this one at the moment, their defensive pressure has been really admirable. I've loved their work around there. What I'd like to see a bit more, though, they cleaned up a bit towards the end of that quarter, but they're just going to be a bit cleaner with their ball use. Turn it over, make some silly decisions. And as for Dalston, I'd like to see maybe some cleaner entries inside forward 50. Jake Barry got there a couple times, but a lot of the times, they were just bombing it in. And you know, that's obviously credit to Dalston's defence as well. But just going to lower the eyes a little bit more, like Duve did with Barry's second goal there. But we'll take a quick break going into quarter time. Dalston playing some really good footy here as they lead this one by 13 points.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No. And it's feeling like I'm in the groove. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Wonderland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
So welcome back to the Fairhaven Homes Match of the Round stream in the West Gippsland League, and it's been a tight contest so far between the Dalston Magpies and the Garfield Stars. Dalston lead this one by 13 points, and how do you reckon they've just gotten on top of Garfield in that first quarter, Boxy?
Well, as you mentioned towards the end of before we went to the break, there was just those couple times where they were just a bit too good, they were just a bit too strong, and their plays just came off for them. The main difference to me has been their disposal inside 50, the times that it's come off. There was that one late from Fraser West to Mason Storr, there's the one you mentioned from Duve to Jake Barry, and their forward movement has just been a bit superior to start. So that's been the difference so far, but obviously, yeah, Garfield really impressed me to start this one, and they're well into this one. Just a note, Nicholas Lang, we saw him hobble off in the first term. He's got a calf injury. I'm not sure if we'll see him again today. He's just getting some attention on the bench still. Didn't really go out to the huddle. Looks pretty dejected. So that's unfortunate for Lang. He played some good footy last week with the 4 goals. But either way, we're back into it for the second term. It'll be Riley and Thomas once again. Big tack from Thomas. It goes straight to Bowes. They get a centre clearance again, the Pies. Monson tracks it. We're going to get to his left. Gets around his opponent and does so. Kick's not great though. Storr's able to keep it in though. Does well. Gives it back to Bowes. Finding heaps of the footy so far. They're trotting along the boundary line. Playing with fire, and it eventually goes out. But another exciting clearance from the Pies. You can really see that when Thomas is able to win the hit out, they're just so dangerous with that midfield setup they have. They've got so many guys that can rotate through there and win the footy and send it deep. So a lot of big bodies, very dangerous for any team really in the league. It's been good so far. Riley wins this one. Murfitt's after it, gets to Marotta. Here's Hallahan, another massive kick to full forward, training back, taking the mark, not paid though. McLean ruining that one. He read the ball so well. Probably had a few options there. Could have probably shepherded it. Could have taken the mark. I thought he had it long enough. Didn't, according to the umpire. It's thrown up. He'll go up in the ruck here. No clean tap. Trying to get through the tackle. Kicks on the way. It's missed though. So again, the Pies looking to go direct and deep as they can if they don't have a direct option on the lead. And it's paying off not through majors but through behind. So they're getting scoring shots each time.
You're exactly
At
right.
least.
With Hayden McLean though, geez, I thought that was very stiff. Thought he controlled that ball definitely long enough.
I'll tell you what, I think when Mitch Hallahan has the footy in the forward half, you've probably got to try and get some pressure on because he's got a massive boot.
He's a bit like I know I'm just so I make so many AFL comparisons as Bowes takes a good intercept mark there, but he kind of reminds you of Jake Stringer a bit. Like he's not the type of guy that's got a lot of endurance and he's gonna, just be at every stoppage. But his ability to just push through and power through and make real game-changing sort of plays is real package, like you'd say, as Bowes low kick couldn't find McLean. So exiting out towards Riley. Murfitt, although smaller in stature, was able to bump him out the way, but in doing that gave away a free kick to Riley, who's the Stars ruckman. So now he looks for Spinks, but Clark just uses the body wonderfully there. And then Griffiths went in well. Connell trying to chase for the footy, but instead he's turned it over, and now Garfield can pounce on this. So taken a good mark was Broxma, who just kicked it forward into space. Is the lead good enough? No, the ball just fell a little bit short. So how did Dowson act here? Armstrong off by hands, immediately turn it over. Does the kick have enough bend in it? No, it was smacked well over the line by Cooper Smith, who applied some good defensive pressure then, Boxy.
He's been decent early across half-back, Cooper Smith. As I mentioned, played a lot of his junior footy at Inverloch Congmac. He's in the black and white this season. He's got a great tank. Very hard at it as well. Here's Murphy in the back pocket, looks to switch. Does so. Lewis. Up the line, and here is Hallahan. Could probably put this to full forward if he wanted to. He runs on, kicks on the way outside to the wing. It's Clark again. He'll bounce in front of him though. He'll get pressure over his shoulder there from Tennis Greenholt. He did well there, Tennis Greenholt, and he uses his teammate in Pickering.
Shepherd.
And that's those 1%ers you love to see. And here's the skipper, Murphy. He wheels and goes. It's a one-on-one with Spinks. Can't quite take the mark. Coming through, there's Tennis Greenholt, though, did well. Handball over the top, releases Russell. He'll try and get his left. Can't get there, though. Great late pressure from the Pies, but Modson's claimed.
It's like tennis.
I think it's Broxma. So, Braxma will have the shot. Outstanding forward pressure on Brad Monson, who last week had so much space against the ladder leaders. Had none there, not even a second. And Braxma can open their account in the second quarter here. Comes in. Kick was never really going to come back. Misses to the near side. So the kick didn't really represent the effort there, unfortunately. But the Stars are showing a lot of fight in this opening few minutes.
And I'd say they've probably been the better side in this first 5 minutes. They've definitely attempted to make those repeat inside 50 entries. They've exited out of full back, the Pies, but the ball's just leaked out the back here, so now they can move it with speed. Hallahan able to break through that contest, got it to a teammate, who then went to Duve behind the ball. Now Connell in the centre of the ground had Murfitt just streaming past him, but ignored the option. Instead, he'll try go out to, I think it was Storr. Instead, he'll find McLean, the big boy, going for a run. He's been tackled to the ground, holding the ball every day of the week. How is the Garfield pressure here? You gotta love it. And then they're appealing there for the 50. Won't get it paid. So Cooper Riley, the ruckman, at half back, kicks it down the line, looking for the big boy in Spinks, who takes a great mark. Garfield are playing some quality football at the moment. They've got the numbers inside 50, but the kick was just a little bit poor. Maybe the decision wasn't the right one either. Had Chris Diston all by himself there. And now the Magpies can counter-attack. Hallahan chips it to Duve. He's playing some slow ball movement here. So off by hands, lost it did Wallace. And then Riley almost caught holding the footy. Spinks came in with a fist. Just a bit of a clearing kick here. Here's Diston all by himself. Now they've got another opportunity to move the ball quickly. Do Garfield. Uncontested mark here by Suto, I think it is. In fact, it was. And then hits the chest of Matt Jones. Drops the footy. And that is precision football there. Was able to fix the tempo wonderfully, Garfield. Found the turnover. Moved the ball quickly. And then played that chipping style until they found a good option inside 50 in Josh Evans.
So precise that Armstrong nearly accidentally hit it on its way to Evans there.
So this would be really big on a big day for Garfield as well. Josh Evans walks in. The kick's looking good. Is it coming back? Oh no! Just going to the left. I thought that was almost through and the crowd would have loved it, but no. They're fifth behind of the day. Dawson leading this one 3-4-22 to 1-5-11 here at Garfield. And The Magpies are up by 11, Boxy.
So Bose goes back to the wing. Still playing that direct footy, the Pies. This will go over to the back for Davey. He's got 2-on-1 though, shoved out of the way. Did well, the Stars defender, but now they're in trouble. And a free kick from, again, very far away is picked out. Screams of what from a few Pies supporters there. Goes up the line, this will hit the deck. Who can rove it first? Tennis Greenhole's after it. He's got Monson and Wallace around him, and that'll probably be in the back. No, play on. So Marsh's tackle, I thought, was well into the back there of Wallace. Nothing doing. So this is a big stoppage. Left half forward for the Stars. McLean wins it down the way of Duve. Been tremendous. Kick goes. This will go over the back. Maybe you'd think no. Marked really well there from Barnes. And he switches immediately. They've got no outnumber here. This is a carry. His kick does find his teammate there. Great mark from, I think it's his skipper Murphy. It is. So he's just a bit sore after that one. Bose gave him a little bit of afters. He's on centre wing. His kick tries to find Spinks. Great mark, really well read. Spinks is on right half forward. Looks for an option. Thinks he finds one, but he's kicked it straight to Cooper Smith. So he was going for Tennis Greenhole there. Smith sat in the hole really well.
Spinks has been one of the best on. I know that wasn't a great kick further deeper into inside 50 there, but he has been brilliant to start off this second term, Aiden.
Yes, here's Liam Pickering. Cut that one off. They move it back into the middle. So both sides not scared to use the middle of the ground today in windy conditions. Ball will go back inside 50 for the Stars. Here's Spinks again, sets himself. Punch came from Armstrong. Oh, and they did well there, the Pies. And now the kick's back towards their forward line. Monson's got to sit under it, did well. Pickering did equally as well though. Here's Jones. His kick's not a great one. And Morrow picks that off at centre half back. So you'd think he'd just take a bit of spice out of this one. No, he doesn't. He plays on, goes really direct to centre half forward. Store out, ran under it, and they got a number out the back. This should be a certain goal for the Pies. Runs all the way in and puts it through. So disappointing there for the Stars. No real reward for their effort. The effort was fantastic, but that's what can often happen in footy. You dominate the first 5 minutes and then other team goes down the other end and scores.
The issue there is that Garfield's defence just pushed too high up the ground because they've gone so high up the ground, ready for that Dalston turnover at their wall, and then they're ready to move through the wing or maybe do a cheeky kick through the corridor, that they've got so many numbers up close towards the ball that they've got no one back. So if you're not taking that contested overhead mark, then that leaves all that space out there for Dalston to attack.
Well, that's what I was saying with Marotta. I thought he'd just take his time because usually you'd have to, but he realised then that they had an outnumber out the back, so why wouldn't you go? And he did. So great setup there and good finish. The Pies extend their lead once again. It's back in the middle. What can the Stars make of this? Here's Suter on the left boot. It's a one-on-one. Marsh and Harris, but Harris, the bigger man, was always going to win that one. He goes short and Duve. Leather poisoning today. His kick's not great though, cut off really well by Reece Murphy, just sliding in there. And he plays on immediately. Did really well there. Again was Braxmar, kick inside 50, bounces over the head of the forward. It'll go out the back, have they got a number? Kick off the ground, we'll wait for the umpire. 2 fingers go up, and that's a goal to the Stars. Really great work there from Ash Russell. Cheeky. Returning to the side today, off the deck with the left boot, and the Stars get one out the back. That's a lucky bounce over the forward, and then another bit of lucky work as it's sat up for Ash Russell. And the Stars are now 2-5-17 playing Dalston 4-4-28 on the Totally Workwear scoreboard. And we've got a game on our hands, Baz.
And they really needed that one, especially after they conceded that unnecessary goal there. So you love to see that if you're a Stars fan. Ash Russell Just read it perfectly. Riley wins the hit out. Then look at Griffiths. Just the ball going outside towards Spinks. And then Clark jumps up for the footy. Was dispossessed. Now just tapping along was Monson. Went right to the skipper of Garfield and Murphy though. And then Pickering trying to get out to Russell. And geez, Dawson really had to fight for that footy there. Garfield just kept on pressurising as Evans. Overhead mark. Now Riley, who's playing a really good game of footy. Evans strolled around the back. Here is Marsh looking to kick on the right. Can he get it to Spinks? No, it was almost intercepted, and then Russell in the pocket just pushed the ball over the boundary line. But geez, this could be one of the games of the year, the way this is setting up. It has been a wonderful contest. Dawson up by 11 points, 13 minutes into this second term. Spinks going in the ruck against Thomas, I believe it was. Dawson exit outside defensive 50. Just slipped a little with their hands here, and then Duve, just the more experienced, composed player, and rips their head off him. High contact every day of the week going to Garfield here. So then go the kick inside 50, and Marsh didn't have a man on him. Now, will he go for it here? He looks to back himself in here, but even if it doesn't make the distance, you've still got Lockie Spinks right up there at full forward.
It's been told from the bench to kick it, Shawnee.
So Marsh to put his side within reach. It's coming back with the wins. Garfield go wide, and look, it's every single player from the defensive 50 to the forward 50 coming to Sean Marsh there. Wonderful team chemistry, and Garfield are within a kick.
Might be his first goal in senior footy, you'd think, after a reaction like that. I'm not sure myself, but the young fella's put that one through. He's been really good forward. Much like Braxma, who had the shot before, their forward pressure and craft is just outstanding for a couple of guys who aren't the tallest or strongest guys, but they were just outstanding there. The Stars into this one up to their shoulders for sure as they're running out of the centre circle here. Can't make anything of it though. Duve gets it from Monson, puts it out in the path of Murfitt. Will he get to it before the boundary line? No. But I was going to say that Russell goal was massive because, as I mentioned, often when you've pushed so hard and then a team goes to the other end out the back for a goal, it can really dent your confidence, and it's often the catalyst of teams getting run over. But the Stars' mental toughness is outstanding so far. I'm really impressed. They were able to go down the other end, get that Russell goal, and then Sean Marsh on the board there. As they go inside 50 once again, Davey will get to this first. Oh, he's tackled across the line. It could have been anything there, really. I thought it might have been in the back.
I definitely agree with you though there, Boxy, especially with young sides as well. They can get really demoralised by that sort of stuff as well. So good to see that they've got the real mental toughness.
It's thrown up again. And it's almost dropping it. There was Garfield forward. Armstrong gets it out to Thomas. His handball goes to Lewis. Got a bit of work to do. Claimed immediately. His kick went nowhere. Hallahan now out to Bowes. He's got Duve. So those three names have done a lot of the work today for the Pies. Now Hallahan and Bowes sort of fight for it, but they work it out, and Hallahan's kick goes up the line. Is that out on the full? No, boundary throw in.
And what I'm noticing with Dawson, as you mentioned, those three players, they're lacking a lot of depth. Like their bottom six or so players aren't really impacting the game all that well, whereas you see sides, the top sides like Inverloch, Tooradin, Phillip Island, they've got players in every single position that can impact a sequence, whereas Dawson, they're really looking top heavy at the moment.
And that's something that you have so many luxuries really, but that's one of the luxuries you have when you're at the top of the ladder. You're not in the position Dawson are when they come to places like this and they play teams at the bottom like Garfield. There's just that sense of nerve and unsureness where the top sides just don't have that. But the Pies are a bit frazzled at the moment with the pressure of the Stars as Wallace shakes off his defender, goes to the goal square. He's got Connor, will it bounce for him? He puts it over the right shoulder. Not quite. Fans loved it. It just didn't quite bend back, but it was a good bit of work from Wallace there.
And that's another example.
Barry nearly cuts this off. Sorry, Baz.
No, that's all right. You
Pickering.
continue.
Back to Evans. Now they're still in trouble. The kick's good enough, and Suter will take the mark on the wing.
And what I was just going to say there, they're lucky that they missed their Garfield, because once again they had another play there where their defenders were too high up the ground and perhaps not spread out well enough, as well as look at Marsh there putting in the hard yards and the tackles. Eventually comes out for Dalston. Duve right against the boundary line, and then it was Murfitt who bounced off his chest. But yeah, with that previous play there, they just had they didn't space the defensive 50 well enough, so they had all of their players on one side. So if the ball, kicks out to the open man in who was it? Just trying to, I think it was Connell.
Yeah, Connell had the shot there.
Then
Another great smother there from Riley.
then you're going to have so much space to work with if you're a Dalston Magpie. So that's something they probably just want to fix up a little bit going into half time, but still playing some good footy. Garfield. So Griffiths is going to get a free kick here for high contact.
I just can't speak highly enough of the way that the Stars are driven today. They've got such a great mentality, really. Every game you watch them, doesn't matter what's on the scoreboard, they always show fight. And I think Paul Carvis as head coach is doing really well.
And even Mark Griffiths as well. I think it was a sequence where you were calling, Aiden. I was having a listen to Mark Griffiths, and his leadership from the bench was outstanding. So he's clearly just a senior veteran sort of presence here, is really helping out his teammates on field. As Duve takes an uncontested mark, kicks it down the line. Evans wasn't strong enough to take it. Still really competitive going for that footy though. And the umpire will call for it back. So McLean for Dalston taking in some ruck duties, going against Riley. Riley won the tap. Marotta just wasn't good enough at the end of the day, still making a real good chase for it. And he's trying to rip that ball out of Pickering's hands, but the umpire will call for a stoppage. So not too far from the boundary line at all. Riley versus McLean. Riley wins another hit out. Bowes pushed over the footy. And then Marsh is going to be caught up here, Boxy.
So, as we've been talking about, they're so likeable, the Stars. They're quickly becoming one of my favourite teams in the comp. You just got to love a young side like this, and they just keep on giving. Here's Hallahan, strong enough to get it to Connell. Connell's kick will put them inside 50. Great mark there, almost by Storr. Couldn't quite complete it. Good pressure from behind. Here's Pickering. He's put it out in the way of Evans. He's got a lot to do here against Barry. Two players have had plenty of it today. Barry wins out on that occasion, and his kick's good enough to Davey, I think it is. So it was a pretty short kick, but they've paid the mark. Now a chance for the players to all take a breath. Well, maybe not, as Davey goes to Hallahan. Well within range here. Kicks on the way. Never looked like scoring. Out on the full. So I don't mind the play there, but probably not from that pocket or that flank with the wind. And no scoring opportunity really there from Dalston. As the Stars work it out now, here's Murphy. He'll get pressure from Marotta. Did well. Goes again. No free kick either way. Dives on it back again. Here Murphy did well. And the umpire will throw it up. So it's been a game played in terrific spirit so far. Supporters from both sides in great spirits as well. Two teams that have had their fair share of hefty losses in the last few seasons, playing some awesome footy. It's great to see. McLean puts it to full forward. One there by Barnes, did well, but it went back in for it. Nearly caught hold on the ball. Here's Storr's left boot towards the goal. It's there. Give Mason Storr a second and he'll hurt ya. No doubt about that. He's one of the best players they have, Mason Storr, and he's made sure of that one for his second. Great snap across the body. So Barnes sort of threw his hands in the air there. He did well. Just a lot of forward pressure there from Dalston. It's good to see they've lifted once again.
So Dalston now occupy a 12-point lead, 35-23 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. It's been a terrific clash of West Gippsland footy here today. Griffiths thought he was going to get to it in time, but Suter beans to it, and then Evans. And then Hallahan gave a little bit of a don't argue to the man on the floor. Davey lowers the eyes. Couldn't hit his man on the chest, but he's going to get the free kick anyway. Stort gives Murphy a little bit of a shove. So Stort then finds Connell. Oh, he does a little sidestep. That was very cheeky from Connell. And he has been one of Dalston's best today. Really going in for those 1%ers and those hard balls. And I think this may be Ireland now.
So I was talking about Garfield's young players, but Max Connell, what a young player he is.
So Ireland, he'll walk in. Oh, the wind might just push it back. Not enough, though. Goes through for a minor score. 5-6-36 to 3-5-23. Dalston leading by 13 points. Aiden.
So yeah, just on Connell's finding the space so well. He plays the wing tremendously. Had really an amazing few junior seasons in the black and white. In a team that wasn't uber successful. Played a few senior games last year alongside his under-18 mate Jackson Foon. He's definitely one to watch if you're a follower of the West Gippsland football competition, Max Connell. So he almost gets to that one, couldn't quite get up to it. It's mopped up though. This kick's in the way of Doover. Get late pressure from Griffiths. Doesn't matter though.
He's almost like a Tom Papley sort of guy, isn't he? He's playing a bit of midfield, but even though he's smaller in stature, but you've even found him a bit here in the pocket as well.
Stuve's kick goes towards Barry. Almost a great mark there from Murphy. Doesn't matter though. Storr picks it up on the right boot. It's in the way of McLean. Over his head. Cheeky handball. But it went to Pickering. And Garfield should be able to exit here. They've got numbers. This time it's Hauer. He's running her through the wing. Low kick up the line, marked by Lewis. Wasn't quite low enough. Cries of giving me a chance from the bench. Long kick though, and this one's picked off. So both defences, we mentioned it in the pre-game, we probably expected it, but they've been really dominant today for great stretches of this contest. As this kick goes up the line, bounces in front of Tennis Greenall. It's mopped up though. There's another kick. This one's in the way of the other Tennis Greenall, but it's marked by Clark. Wastes no time, plays on, goes back up the line, and his kick's cut off, but it doesn't matter. That's the siren. That's a half of footy done here at Garfield. It's the Stars 3-5-23, trailing the Magpies 5-6-36. An absolute ripper contest so far. Stay with us for the second half. Anything could happen. It's the Fairhaven Homes match of the round. Stay with us, we'll take a break.
I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm letting go in my heart. Ah, of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the groove. I can feel the love
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart. Of everything that holds me down. No. And it's feeling like I'm in the groove. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm letting go in my heart. Ah, of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the groove. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
So you're back with us in Garfield for the Fairhaven Homes match of the round. And the visiting Darlston Magpies have the 13-point lead. 3-5-23, playing 5-6-36 on the Totally Workwear scoreboard. Pretty even contest so far. A few updates, unfortunately, for the Stars. They were brave in that second term, but they've lost their captain, Reece Murphy, out with a concussion. So he'll sit alongside Nicholas Lang. And they've been really hit hard by a couple injuries to a few key players, the Stars, but you'll never count them out. They are terrifically strong in all facets of the game, above the shoulders. So we're nearly set to go here. There's a siren. It'll be Riley and Thomas again. This time Thomas wins the tap, but only just. Suter roves it. Has enough time to get around Thomas and put the ball inside 50. It's a bit of a floater. Smith comes towards it, but he doesn't read it well enough. Here's Armstrong. Taps towards the boundary line. Spinks will be after it, but the boundary line will win. So good early start from the Stars here. Applied a lot of pressure on the Pies in the opening 5 minutes of the second term. Can they do the same here? Riley tapped in the way of Suter. He's claimed immediately by Murphy. Ball goes nowhere, and we'll have a repeat stoppage inside 50 for the Stars. It's thrown up. It's roved well though, and kicked. It will trickle just outside 50, but Griffiths is the first to it for the Stars. Puts it back inside 50. No mark. Ball to the front. Great handball there from Soars, but it's tapped down into the deck by Hallahan. Did really well, and Doves claimed immediately. We'll have another stoppage. So just feeling themselves out again here to start the second half, the two sides. This one comes out the side. This is a carry on the left boot. Trickles towards the goal face and just misses to the near side. Been pretty good, Theo Sakari. Young fella, only played a handful of games. Much like a lot of his teammates in the Garfield side. Young, but up for the fight. It's been great to see. Walking around the crowd at half-time, a lot of positive faces on both sides at the moment. It's great to see these two sides back playing great footy. As I mentioned, been through some pretty dark times lately. This kick goes in the way of Clark. It's a great kick out from Harris. Clark looks to play on, got pressure though. Griffiths might get him, doesn't quite. He's able to kick away in the way of Storr. Storr's got a number over the top. Once again, it's Wallace. He'll have time to steady. Kick it, goal! It's there. And it's happened again, Baz.
Yes, Dalston, they're just starting to pull a little bit away now. I know we're only very early into this third term, but geez, just Garfield, the immaturity, or maybe not, that's not the right word, just the youngness in this side just starting to come out a little bit, as Dalston are now up by 3 goals.
And it's something that the Seagulls did to them last week. If you make a little mistake, you don't make a tackle, you don't cut the ball off at the coalface, they'll make you pay over the back. And they've been able to get 3 or 4 goals out of it today, and it's definitely hurt the Stars.
Certainly has. Scoreboard reads 6-6, 42 to 3-6, 24. Dalston leading this one by 18 points. Let's resume play. Riley won the hit out, and then Hallahan bursting out of the pack just sends a high floating one inside forward 50. Jace Evans had a good piece of his jumper. Umpire's going to agree with me, so he'll give it to Barry, who's taken the free kick. So Barry doesn't go for the shot, instead plays on, looking for, I think it was Storr, in fact it was, still trying to go for it. 1% is proving strong here, just sends it high up in the air. No mark taken. McLean in the pack, out of it. Barry, no. It's going to be knocked over the line for a minus score. And the lead now sits at 19.
Yet more fight from the Garfield defence on the last line. You just always know you're going to get it. Here's Connell turning in a phone booth, puts him back inside 50. Great mark, McLean. Came in from the side. Not sure it was really intended for him, but it didn't matter. And again, you see the talent of Max Connell on full display. Finds the footy so well. Not the tallest fella, but he's probably one of the most skillful. And here's McLean. Kick from about 25 metres out. Would suit him as a left footer, but he puts it left. Too far left, and that'll miss.
I thought you thought for a second there you said Hayden McLean wasn't the tallest guy. For a second, oh, he's the tallest guy on the field, mates. But no, so Dalston, or sorry, rather Hayden McLean has missed a lot on that one. So now in the back pocket, the Stars. Helicopter sort of ball. Oh, geez, Clark came in with a fist there. And then look at Hallahan just trying to use his brute strength. Holding the ball, says the umpire. Suter once again. And there's a couple times Hallahan's been caught up on a don't argue now. And geez, look at Connell there. Like we said, not the tallest guy on the field, but geez, he's had a real big presence today. Always getting to those contests. Boundary throw in. Thomas wins the hit out. Here's that man in Connell again. Handball just went a little out of Murphet's way, who gave it off to Duve. And then went over the line. He's given a bit of a rub in the head to Sutar as well there. Cheeky from Duve.
Crowd involved as well. Love to see it.
So Riley taps it out to Sutar, who gives off a little bit of a dribbler, you might say. Hallahan couldn't reach out to get the ball at the end of the day. Griffiths powers through and got it off by hands. And then I think that's Murphy, just got off in the nick of time. Bowes has to just send the ball in there. Wow, Wallace almost took a one-hander there. Evans, clean spin out of traffic, and then sends a dribbler up the wing to his man in Matt Jones, who then just really kicks it into space looking for anyone. Now it's going to a 1v1 here, and then Cooper Smith is going to put a quick end to that and turn on the Jets. Goes down the line, turns it over to Sean Marsh, who intercepted well. Tried to go through the middle. Marotta couldn't get it to in time. Murphet now in the middle of the ground. Sends it out towards the wing. Should meet the boundary line. Carew, who is wearing the number 51 and headgear today, knocks it over the boundary line. Aiden.
Yeah, copped a bit of a cut to the head last week, did Carew. He's been pretty good today, as he was last week as well. Here's Thomas and Riley. Tap to the front, taken by Bowes. He puts the Pies inside 50. Good contest there, no mark. Connell will be after it once again. Won't get to the contest though. Another good effort from Griffiths. He's claimed by Thomas. Ball going nowhere. We'll have a ball up. Right between the centre square and the 50 arc. In Dalston's forward half. It's Thomas and Riley once again. Been a great battle. But Murfitt, no tap there. He just ran through with the footy as it hit the deck. Puts it inside 50 in the way of Wallace. Wasn't good enough to grab it off the deck. Big hit there from Carew. Comes back to Barnes and he's claimed after the kick. Is that downfield? No. It's pretty late. Either way.
I'd say Murphy's probably been best on in this third term to start us off, Boxy.
He has been. So Barnes' kick was out on the full. The kick went into Dove and he finds McLean. And that's the sort of stuff that shows you Dalston are up for that finals race this year. Just that cut above. And they've got some players that you just think, yep, you need to be playing finals footy. Dove's one of them, McLean probably another. Needs to convert here though. We're about 40 metres out, no real angle. Kicks on the way, it's a big one. Is it there? No. Another behind to Hayden McLean. The Pies still lead 6-8-44 to Garfield's 36-24 on the Totally Workwear scoreboard, Baz.
So it goes out towards the boundary line, and we should have a boundary throw in here. And the ball's gone out, and geez, I think that's my mum that's going to go get it. Good work, Jay. So Monson at the boundary line. Plays on, kicks it inside 50, and that is read beautifully by Mark Griffiths there. Got in front at the right time, and he's probably been Garfield's best there, or at least certainly in the conversation for it. So sends a high one down the line. No mark taken, but they've got some numbers leaking out the back, do Garfield's. But Dalston just really upping the pressure in this third term, and they were able to retreat back and get the footy.
Good to see your mum off the board well, one disposal 100%. Love to see it.
Oh,
There's
jeez.
Riley and Thomas once again. It's won by Bose though, did really well. Shook off the tackle, put it in the path of Wallace. Now Hallahan, back to Davey. Hallahan bursts through, kick on the way, up the line. Carew, great mark from the back. He'll turn and go. Put the Pies back inside 50. Running onto that's right. Great mark. And the Magpie faithful are pretty close to us here, love that one. Another awesome play from halfback for the Pies, and you just see their clearance dominance. Can break games open at any level of footy. And another one over the back. Great work running with the footy there, Lockie Wright.
Well, you just start to see some of those bigger body mids winning it now.
Wright's kick. Come here, it's on the way, he's put it through, they love it. So Lockie Wright's got another one for the Pies. Pretty simple kick, but the play was really the highlight there. Again, Hallahan asserting himself. Bose was involved, Wallace and Davey. And it really started there from a great mark on half forward from Carew. It's been outstanding today.
Just going further on what I was saying though, before Wright kicks that, you're starting to see those bigger bodies for the Pies win now. So your Doves, your Hallahans, guys like that, even Marauder at times as well. They're starting to win those clearances now. As for Garfield, they don't really have any midfielders with a lot of brute strength, unless you're talking about Mark Griffiths. So that's what Dalston probably have on them. Even Bose as well, as McLean in the ruck. Wallace tried to get it out, dropped it, holding the ball, says the umpire. And he's going to stand over it. Pickering eventually got it and then gave it off to Will Pickering. Suter should have taken that mark, uncontested. Murphy had a real good piece of him there. Umpire won't see it at the end of the day though. Now Fraser West, he's going to fall at the bottom of the pack for a stoppage. Awfully close to that boundary line, as you see. Zach Suter, he's got some tape around his head, may have had just a little bit of a knock. So Duve fell over himself. Murphy, don't argue, that's got to be holding the ball. Absolutely. And you still see that tackling pressure. They're trying to push through Dalston and use their strength, but they're actually landing their tackles pretty well, the Stars. Kick may have not been the best choice. Duve was the option for Bose and then got tackled immediately by Griffiths.
Yeah, great work there from Zakari. Really great tackle right in front of us here on the bigger man. He's got it again here, wins the clearance. He's going the way of Spinks. I think the Banjalone might win here. Does well though, Spinks. Picks it up now. It's claimed from both sides. So come out to Thomas. Late smothering effort probably affected the kick, but it didn't matter. Davies got it on centre wing. He'll turn. He's got a lead. It's Storr. Out in front, couldn't grab it though. And here's Smith. He'll get a holding free. So Ryan Smith. Not the best kick, bit of a floater, doesn't really go anywhere, and he's made a big task for Barnes. And Carew was much better on that occasion. He's put it out in front of Murfitt. The bounce probably didn't favour him. Ducks under the tackle, gives it to Monson. His shot on the goal. You bet. Brad Monson drifting down from the wing. And the Pies have 3 in a row. And I mentioned it earlier. If you make mistakes, sides like Darlston this season will make you pay on the other end. And that was just really good work from Carew. You saw his ability there. And Monson, he's just got one of the best tanks in the league. He always keep running, and that time he sniffed out a goal, and he was never going to make that one miss.
So after a really good first term, you're starting to see Darlston flex their muscles a little bit. Garfield's still in it though. Let's see what they can do. Got, you'd say, maybe about 10 minutes more of play in the premiership quarter. So Thomas got over the top of Spinks. Look at Wallace there. The burst sends one inside 50, and that was read wonderfully. A great mark there coming from the backman in Finn Hauer. Hauer, oh geez, that was almost a big fly there taken, but Garfield, or sorry, rather Dalton have recovered well. Now Storr going to take an overhead one here, couldn't get it in the end. I think that was Barry who tried to do a sneaky around the body dribbler, but it just went nowhere near it, and the ball's going to be deep inside the forward pocket of Dalston. They're up by 32 points. Boundary throw in. Thomas took it clean out of the ruck and was instantaneously tackled by Griffiths. So Spinks winning the hit out that time. Hauer was ripped away from the ball. Oh, sorry, not Hauer, rather Will Pickering, who played a bit of under-18s interleague last year, did Will Pickering. It's the ball just really struggling to find its way out here. High pressure footy inside of Dalston's forward 50. 8-8-56, plays 3-6-24. About 40 metres or so out, Spinks gives a good tap out and then got it out to Will Pickering, but was met with a lot of pressure. Storr is now going to be tackled, and they're just inching closer to exiting outside of defensive 50, Aiden.
Yeah, the next goal's really important. So the ball trickles outside 50. Tennis Greenhill will get to it first. His handball hits his man, but he was under pressure immediately. Great tackle there from Clark on young Zakari. Applause for both sides there. Still a great contest, but you think if Darlston get the next one, they might start to break away. If the Stars get it, it's game on again. Tap from behind, goes to Hallahan. He's run down brilliantly from Griffiths. And if you're a Stars fan, what can you really say about this guy? He's been just tremendous today. He's been everything for them. His kick will go up the line. A few options for the mark. No one really went for it in the end. Harris will get to it first. Now Riley. Now Spinks. Just whacks it on the boot. It'll go up the line. Punch from behind by Lewis was good. But Tennis Greenhill's Rove was better. He puts him inside 50 to the mark. No. Great contest. It'll come out the back. Who can pick it up first? It's Braxma going after it. Could he turn well? Snap for goal. Not quite there. I think it'll go out of bounds, so that's probably a win. But another exciting play from Garfield, and that's what they do. They never stop giving. Regardless of the 32-point lead to Darlston, the Stars continue to put pressure on them. They're inside 50 now. In fact, I think his kick went out of bounds on the full, so...
I thought it dribbled over, but...
Yeah, I would have thought so as well. Nonetheless, it's Duve. Pressure from Suter. Been a good contest between those two today as well. Kick will now go up the line. Big contest. Spinks will punch from the back. Play on, says the umpire, and it goes nowhere. But if they get nothing out of today, the Stars, they'll carry a lot of positivity and confidence once again, because some of the footy they've played today is just top level stuff. Great to see. They play the game the right way. As here's Barry. Willing go on the left. Kick probably isn't exactly where he wanted it, but it'll fall in front of Storr. He can use his left boot to put him inside 50. Over the top is Bowes. He'll have a one-on-one with Jones. Jones will come late, and he taps it, tries to get it towards Davey, but the boundary line wins out. So dangerous again there, the Pies. They've just got that one play they keep executing where they switch it across centre half forward and then go deep is really hurting the Stars today. It's a dangerous one. Worked a few times last week against the undefeated Sea Eagles as well. As Spinks wings the tap and takes possession. But going nowhere. We'll have another stoppage. Spinks and Bowes this time. Spinks punches this one. But it goes to Hallahan. His kick smothered. Picking it up is Barnes, and he found a teammate. Now it's in the way of Zakari. He picks it up. He's chased by Connell. Didn't get there. Connell. Zakari got the kick away, but it's into no one in particular. And Lewis will pick it up and clean up for the Pies. I think they've called out of bounds, have they? They have. Good call from the boundary umpire there.
So just some around the ground stuff as well. There's a couple in progress, ones that we can't check the scores on. But Phillip Island are beating Kilcunda Bass 68-34. Tooradin beating Kiwi Rupp 57-34. And Nanagoon beating Warrigal Industrials 24-19. So here comes Marotta with great speed on the wing. Kicks it towards Storr. And a whistle's being blown here. This is going to be a free kick in the way of the Magpies. So Stork goes off his line, just sends one into space. Hallahan gave his opponent a bump. Now the ball's leaked out the back here. They're going to get it. Barry dribbling. No. Jeez. Just in the nick of time. The Garfield defence presents. And now Evans kicks it to the uncontested distant. Who then finds Soars, who's had a quiet one today. Evans tried to run onto it. He was beat by his own teammate though. Sutar moving and weaving beautifully through traffic and then chucks on the Jets from 50 metres out. Zach Sutar. Oh my God, he sent it. Zach Sutar. That is the sort of stuff that gets you up and about. Gee whiz.
Can you believe that?
Stars back on the board.
Zach Sutar has absolute wheels. He is lightning. If the West Kippy League had a grand final sprint, I'd have the number 25 from the green and gold in it. Boy, that's goal of the year type stuff. And
Yeah, all the way from half back, ran right through the middle of the ground. Wonderful stuff there.
And if they ever needed a bit of a lift, well, there it is right there, served on a platter. Garfield's got something in this young fella, Zach Sutar. One of the best goals the league's ever seen. Here we are again back in the middle. Clean and Riley. Tap falls down to Soars, going nowhere. They'll go at it again. This time it's a great tap from Riley, but it goes straight to Murfitt. Can't run away with the footy though. We'll have another stoppage. So it's buzzing here now at Beswick Street after that sensational finish from Zach Sutar. And the Stars are back in it. Have another ball up here. Another great thing about country footy, had all the reserves boys behind the goals and their arms just went straight up off as the kick left the boot. And the crowd went into cheers straight away. An awesome moment. One that Zach Sutar will remember for a long time and tell his mates about on occasion after occasion, I'm sure. He's after it again here. Turns on a dime. We'll send another long one. This one goes to centre half forward to a true one-on-one. Punch from behind. Lewis will get to it first for Dalston. Can't grab it though. Here's Soars. He'll put the Stars back inside 50, but reading it better is Harris. Just didn't quite read that one well there, Spinks. It was a good effort from Soars nonetheless. And the Magpies exit and it goes out of bounds before Connell could grab it. We'll have a throw in.
And after I said Saws has been a bit quiet today, he's the past 5 minutes or so, he's actually put on a pretty good performance. So I've liked what I've seen from him in the last 5 or so. Marotta hit the deck, whistle blown, free kick in the way of Dalston. So here is that man in Marotta. Goes up to the line. I think that's Storr leading out from, right. Evans won though, used the body, then just sent a high-flying ball up down the line. McLean had the ball ripped out from his hands. And Dawson just being pretty clean with the footy here on this wing, opposite to the broadcast. Oh, but now have a look at Murfitt. He's streaming for it, but just couldn't pick it up cleanly, and the Sharon will find a nice cosy home at the boundary line. 23 minutes into this one, Dawson lead by 27, but you just feel as if Garfield have a little bit more momentum on their side at this current minute. There's that man in Sutar again, playing a brilliant game. Marsh took the mark in the centre of the ground. Now Spinks is going to read this one well. Knocked it back in front of him though. Great mark there. Russell just sat perfectly under the footy. And then he'll look to go inside. Runs a bit off his line, so he's caught to play on. Just sends one straight towards the goals. I think Dalston are going to look to find the boundary line, and they will. So time would be ticking down quickly here for Garfield. You can't imagine there's too much time left in what has been an entertaining third term. Really an entertaining game of footy overall. McLean tried to take it out of the ruck, and then just out of the pack there was Jet Pickering, who went for goal, but he will instead get a minus score. 8-9, 57 to 4-7, 31 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. Garfield are definitely in this one, Aiden.
Yeah, it's just that trademark fight. They just keep on giving, and I think they're just buoyed by the fact that when they keep competing and they keep their heads in games, they can produce some scintillating footy, and it's just got to be fun. Like, you can just see they have so much fun when they play their best footy, and today's certainly one of those days. As we see a great mark there from Bose. He's having fun himself. Had a great day. His kick will go up the line. Great mark! Is that our man again? It is.
Yep.
Zach Suter has been everywhere. This time sidestep Storr. That's not easy to say, and he puts it out in front of Pickering. He can't take the mark. The ball's out of bounds. So, middle of the wing. As I think we've got a blood rule here. Yeah, we do. And it is our man. He's been bandaged up. It's probably helped him with that goal. We might have to start wearing that every week. But now he's got some claret flowing, so we'll have to come off as the game is paused for a second. Players can draw breath.
You ready for another AFL comparison?
I am.
Noah Anderson, I reckon, for Zach Suter. It's that taller, lankier sort of guy, but geez, he wins a lot of that ball inside the midfield, and he's just having an absolute blinder, especially in this third term.
He's probably quicker than Noah Anderson.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's
Don't see Noah Anderson running off from half-back to here and kicking goals from 50 out.
different level of footy, but yeah, I don't mind that one. That was good. He's certainly got a lot of tools in his shed, does Zach Suter. As we see a free kick here. It might be Griffiths. He'll wheel and go. Another high, long kick to centre half forward. Dennis Greenhole's under it. Here's Murfitt. Did well. Got out of trouble. Gave the handball to Lewis. Here's the kicks. Another high one. This is a 2-on-1. Should win out here, Garfield. They don't, though. Hallahan. Dummies a couple. Kicks a scrubber along the line. Jones will get to it first. Turns. Tries to look for a body. Oh, just finds Marsh, but he can't take the mark, and bursting through is Monson. Thought about the kick, but he thought better of it. Hands to Barry. Barry's kick's on the way from 45. No.
Jeez, they're lucky there, Garfield. That would have really hurt them if he made that. Evans from fullback.
It's another momentum killer it would have been. You're right, Paz.
Jones now. Oh, kick was almost smothered, but the lead there from Jack Barnes was just perfect, wasn't it? And the kick was even better. Finding Theo Zakari. Want someone to lead up for him. think he was going for tennis green, but it was just picked off easily by Ben Lewis, who we haven't called a whole lot today. Had a bit of the footy last week. Here's Sakari again. Instead would be his teammate in John Sakari marking. I think they're brothers, actually. Good overhead grab. Jet Pickering this time. Moves it on instantly from 50 out. Is it another one for Garfield? No, won't have the legs. And picked off wonderfully. This time from Harris of the Dalston Footy Club. Duve has Murfitt leading for him, but the kick went well over his head. And what has the umpire said here? It's going to go back to Duve.
Well, it was a bit of a weird one because obviously Zakari came late to try and affect the spoil and he didn't. And then he was trying to get back to the mark, but Duve had taken off.
Yeah, I don't know why that would have been
Not sure why
called
they've given him
back.
a second chance, yeah.
And that's really pivotal for Garfield as well, because that was going to be a turnover because Duve's kick went well over Murfitt's head and they would have made another inside 50 entry. Nonetheless, Clark now. Armstrong gets hit right on the chest, and they're just, once again, like that second quarter, really trying to take the sting out of this game with some slow ball movement. Goes down the line looking for Storr. Evans presented well and then dished it off. Wonderful job from Josh Evans, who has been one of Garfield's best today. Bowes goes to Marotta. And umpire will blow the whistle to signal the end of the third term. And geez, it's 26 points, but I will not put it past Garfield. They have been led by some terrific players in Mark Griffiths and Zach Suter, and even Josh Evans as well, I should say. And they are really still in this one, you'd think. But that is the third quarter done. We're going to take one last break before we go into what should be an entertaining final term. We'll see you soon.
I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm letting go in my heart. Ah, of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the groove. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. You know, if I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm letting go in my heart.
All right, we're back here at the Garfield Recreation Reserve, and what a contest we have. What a fourth quarter coming up. Dalston, well, they lead it by 27 points, but is it enough? I'm not sure. The Stars showed the enormity of their hearts in that third term, the premiership quarter. They weathered the storm. Magpies kicked those first 3 goals, and they looked like they might be starting to run away, but in true Stars fashion in 2023, they showed their heart and got themselves back in it thanks to one of the greatest goals in, well, as I said, league history from Zach Suter. And we're all set up for a grandstand finish here. Set it off the top. I haven't seen a close game with you yet, Baz, this season when we've been together, but today we might be delivered that one.
Yeah, well, you'd certainly like to hope so. Garfield, you felt just a little bit of a switch in the atmosphere there. Just the whole feeling around the ground felt different in those last 10 minutes or so, and Garfield really turned up another notch, and Dalston began to buckle a little bit under the pressure here. But you see here, Duve is not starting at the centre bounce. He's going to be sitting at half back where he started. So, big last term coming up. Suter back on the field as well from that blood injury, or blood raw I should say. So Hallahan came bursting outside of the centre square. Try to put it in front of Wallace. Barry already has 2. And the boundary umpire is going to say it went over the boundary line. Barry seemed to disagree.
It's interesting there. The boundary umpire was actually inside the field of play there when he called that one, and Barry wasn't happy with him, but either way, it's thrown back in. Riley wins the tap in the way of Griffiths. He's fallen over the top of by Bowes as the lights start to come on here, getting a bit dark as the cloud cover increases. Haven't had any rain today, it's been good. So hopefully it remains dry for the final quarter. They're bustling around for it inside 50 for Dalston. No winner in that contest, and we'll have another stoppage. Bowes and Riley. Riley wins the tap, but it's scooped out from Marotta to Hallahan. Not his best effort. His left boot finds Storr. So that was a shot from Hallahan. I think he hit the belly of the ball, and it floated up in the air for about 30 metres, and Storr was the first one to react and took the chest mark. So tough angle for him though as a left footer. It's quite deep in the left-hand pocket. Only about 20 metres, 15, 20 metres out though. This will be huge for the Pies. Stars had a lot of momentum to end the third quarter. Going back a fair way. Here's Storr. He runs in now. Kicks on the way. Looks pretty good. Hands go up. He's got it. Should have really been never in doubt. Mason Storr, he's got all the skill in the world as a forward.
Is that his third today?
It is.
Third? Yeah.
Third goal for Mason Storr. She mentioned Baz, their leading goal kicker last year. And he's kicking him again in 2023. And he extends their lead back to 33.
Well-
Still not inconquerable, but starting to err on that side of enough for
Certainly.
Dalston.
And as we mentioned, it's those guys like Hullahan who are able to impact the game so well with their centre clearances. That's who is winning this game for Dalston at the moment. Duve try to get the ball with the one hand, then Sutar coming through the middle. I think it was Tennis Greenall who gave it off, going for goals, won't make the distance. Oh, and I thought we may have seen a little bit of a soccer again, like we witnessed earlier on, but it was not meant to be. Harris now. I tell you what, this is, maybe it's just the sunnies, but that I'm wearing at the moment, but it almost looks like it's turning into a bit of a night game at the moment. It's getting real dark over here. Oh, geez. Knocked right into his head. Griffiths seems to be okay, though. Still going in hard at that footy.
If I'm a young player, I tell you what, Griffiths he's someone I want to play with because his intent is just ferocious. He always body lines the ball. He doesn't matter about what happens to his body, and his leadership's been outstanding all day.
Yeah, like I said earlier on in our stream, you can hear him well here on the boundary line that we're next to. He's really good in that aspect of leadership. As Marotta, low kick, was stroked perfectly. And then Hullahan has a bunch of space to himself. The kick's not going to have the accuracy or the distance. Geez, McLean could have taken that one quite easily. Instead, it's going to go through for a minus score. 9-11-65 plays for 8:32 as time continues to tick down for the Garfield Football Club, Aiden.
Their hearts within their mouths there when Mitch Hallahan got the ball outside 50. One of the rare times today he didn't quite hit that one well. Either way, they've turned it back over here and Murphy's kick will put him inside 50 of the pocket. Almost a good mark from Wallace. Couldn't quite grab it though. The ball trickles out and I think it's Pickering over the top of it. So I have another ball up inside 50 for the Pies. They're pressing here. They want to lock away this win that's going to be so important for their race for the top six. It's tapped down. Couldn't quite find Connell. And I think it was Barry picked it up and was tackled. We'll have another ball up. This one more central to the goal. McLean just claims possession. Tries to flick it wide to Storr. Has he made something out of nothing? He has. Two in a row for Mason Storr. What a star he is. And as I said, something out of nothing there. Really smart ruck work from Hayden McLean. Just took possession, flicked the handball wide. And of course, Mason Storr was there waiting. And the hand to boot there, probably about half a second, which is really what made that one possible. And he's kicked the goal out of the pack from about 20 metres out to extend the lead. Sits at 39 points now. They're right on the edge of good night for Garfield. Unfortunately, they've been so good, but the good teams only takes them a matter of moments to put you away. As Thomas puts it down the throat of Murphy, running, botting it deep, set off. Oh, full forward, but geez, I got excited there because I thought they'd banged on another one, but Murphy's kick fell into the goal square and couldn't be marked at full forward.
Just some around the ground stuff again. Got a thriller at Coralline. Coralline 134, Bunyip 22. Phillip Islands 100.
Sorry, Baz Monson puts it back to full forward. Who's there? Over the back, almost marked. Murphy's snap will be good. No. Went nowhere. Got the other side of the ball. Wise deceived me. I looked online, but I think it was spinning the other way. He sort of went nowhere there, Murphy's snap. He's had a couple of chances and they've gone awry, and it's Will Pickering looks very sore at full forward. The play will go on. Very strange call. Riley wins the tackle. Play will go towards Pickering here. He's just out of the way. His teammates win it back. This one's in the way of tennis. Greeno will climb over the top of Duve. Can't take the mark. As Hallahan bursts through. Flicks it back to Murfitt. And his left foot snap is nice. And he finds his big man McLean. He plays on. His left boot's high. Is it long enough? It might be. No one touched it. Hayden McLean's kicked the goal. And out of everything we've seen today, that is definitely not the way I would expect them to almost put the game away.
And it's just giving off sort of last week's vibes, where it was really a tight contest for 3 quarters between Dalston and Inverloch Congwack, and then that last term, the better team in the Sea Eagles were just able to pull away, and you're seeing a similar sort of thing here where Garfield are just not able to keep that same amount of persistence for 4 quarters, but that's typically what happens with the younger sides. So Monson came through from the wing and then gave it to Duve. The handball was placed a little bit low though. It certainly made it challenging for him. Marsh, Griffiths, Pickering, kicks it to space. Went straight to a Dalston defender though, who's going to be ripped down towards the ground. Got one last effort of a handball in though. Pickering still trying to get through that pack there. I think it was Tennis Greenall who was hit the deck and looks to be in some sort of pain. Bowes just put it right onto the boot. Tennis Greenall got back up immediately. Sends a high one inside 50. They've got some numbers down here in the pocket. I think that was Bruxma there who just went across the face, and Garfield have got it behind there. And as they've missed, I'll just quickly keep you updated with the other games. Phillip Island betting Kilcunda 100-53. Tooradin Cooey-Rupp 74-40 in the way of the Gulls, and Nanagoon and Warrigal is yet to update. Boxy.
So ball on half forward here. Had to leap one of his teammates there, Pickering. Good spot with the ball. Can they take a mark? Not quite. Smith was good enough for the Pies there, as was Harris. Been good all day, and he gets it to McLean. Mopped up well there, the Pies. They've lifted in the final term. You can see this win means so much to them. Storr. Searching lead. He's got it in the centre square. He'll use his left boot, and it's really good. Davey. That's finals footy. That's really, really promising if you're a fan of the black and white in 2023. There was a bit of a tension around the ground. There was a bit of a feeling all afternoon that they'd break away, and they've done so now. Here's Davey. Comes in. His kick's not great. It went quite high and really had no direction to it. He misses near side, but once again, the improvement that Dalston showed this year is just out of sight. And plays like that, it just looks like they are meant to be in the finals race in 2023. Here's Saws. Plays on. Got to make something happen here, the Stars. It's a one-on-one with Tennis Greenall and Smith. Smith wins out once again. Been great today, Cooper Smith. He gets it on to Duve. Much the same, but he's claimed immediately. Great tackle by Sean Marsh. And we'll have another stoppage. So it's been a great day out here today. Both sides have shown some amazing patches of footy. As the Stars burst out of the stoppage and get it inside 50 once again, someone loses a boot.
Lost a boot, yeah.
And we'll have it thrown up. I think it was... He's hobbling now. He's all right there.
Stars have picked up a couple of injuries in the past couple of minutes.
Braxmer, as he puts his boot back on, the ball goes deeper inside 50, and there's a free kick somewhere. It'll go the way of Dalston. Cooper Smith once again. Didn't really call his name last week against IK, but he's been really, really good today. He's played his role about as good as you can. As Clark takes the mark, I'm not sure if they paid it or not because he played on instantly with the handball. Now Wallace has got a bit of a problem. Bites off a bit more trouble than he needed to. Gets it back to Lewis. And he puts him inside the centre square and it's marked well. So Evans goes up the line in the way of Jones and Wallace cuts it off. Plays on instantly as well. Still going direct and fast, the Pies. This one's a one-on-one with Spinks and Carew, though. Spinks had the size advantage, punched it away, but Carew bumped him out of the way, and now West trying to get his kick away, missed his boot, holding the ball. Well done, Zakari. His kick goes up the line. He's distant, plays on around the corner, will go up the line, and it's a one-on-one with Smith and Greenhall again, and it falls in Smith's lap. He goes to Ireland. And now Marsh. His handball goes nowhere, but to Smith once again. And a few handballs there going not really anywhere in the air. As Tennis Greenhall's kick has found a man. At the back, Pickering should make it count, and he does. So a better reward for effort there for the Stars. Might be a bit late for them to crawl all the way back, but they've got another one. It was Jet Pickering. He's been pretty solid today. He was great last time we had the Garfield game against Narnagoon despite the deficit. Got a fair bit of talent in the kid. As do a lot of his teammates who just never stopped in that play. It was a bit symptomatic of their game today, really. They just don't stop giving. Doesn't matter what's on the scoreboard. And the lead's 40 points, but it's been a great day of footy as the sun's come back out, Baz.
Yeah, I've just noticed that. Geez, the heavens have really opened up behind us as it's thrown back up. Riley won it. Doof chasing for it like a madman. Just hit it with his boot, though, unfortunately, so couldn't really get a clean pick-up at the end of the day. Still laying a really heavy tackle there. So Dalson exit immediately. Kicked on the wing. And Wright tried to take a mark there, but Evans, who has been, like I said earlier, one of Garfield's best players, is able to impact it well. So here we are again, thrown in. Saws try to get a good piece of it. Instead it was Murphy off the deck. Now Davey. So they're just running back here, and Murphy will eventually take the ball over the boundary line. 13, almost 14 minutes into this one. 11-13, 79 to 5-9, 39. And just judging off that score, that's probably something you'd like to see Dalston improve on a little bit more, their accuracy. They can't afford to kick 13 behinds in finals if they are to play, as Clark hits the chest of, I think that is Storr again. And it is Storr. This would be his 5th, I believe, if he was to kick it. And Mason Storr has already eclipsed his amount of goals he kicked last year. And this might just give him the 3 votes if he's to kick this. Mason Storr from 50 metres out, not looking terrible, and that has made it all the way.
The arms go straight up. I think they've just about done enough here, the Pies. They've been the better team for a lot of the day. It's been even in patches. Garfield got on top for a little bit, but Mason Storr, just such a danger inside 50 for any opposing defence. He's got 5 now. And the Pies, they just look well on their way to really make something out of this season in 2023 after what was a disappointing 2022. Back in the middle, here's Thomas and Riley. Great tap, Marotta. Tries to flick it over the top to Hallahan. Didn't have heaps of space. Marotta will get it back and now releases Connell. Can he pick it up? No, he can't. Griffiths dived on it again. He keeps doing it day in, day out. Mark Griffiths did well there and he won it back for his side. Here's Smith. His kick's a dangerous one, but it's almost a great mark there to Jones. Fresher was good enough from behind though, and the Pies win it back. Here is Storr. Handball will fall in front of Wright. Slick hands back to Storr. Does he go for a 6 or he go for a pass? I'm sure he went in the middle there. In the end, he found the chest of Barnes. His kick will sit on the head of Hallahan. Great mark. Not really sure what he was trying to do there. Bit risky kicking it to a one-on-one with this fella. Deep on the right hand, forward flank. Looking for an option. Hallahan's kick will go central in the way of McLean. Really smart work from Hallahan. Had the patience. Waited for his forwards to get their craft going and just perfect execution once again. It was pretty scrappy to start the game, but I think Dalston have definitely showed they're the more skillful side today as McLean lines up. Pretty much straight in front, only about 20 metres out. And he's put it through. So credit that one to Mitch Hanelhan. It was an awesome intercept mark and kick, and McLean's finished the job there. So 5-9-39, now plays 13-13-91 on the Totally Work West scoreboard, and the Pies are finishing the job, Baz.
And I just want to point out how pivotal this win is. I know that Garfield is sitting at 9th at the moment. It may just seem like Dalston have gone out and got the job done. But in the context of this season, this is huge. They've got Phillip Island next week at home, still going to be hard. Tooradin at home, hard game. Narnagoon at the Goon, that could really go either way. Warrigal away, that could go either way. And then they've got Coralin as well, who they only beat by 11 points last time. So the next, 5 weeks are pivotal for this football club in their finals race. I would, to count them in for finals, I'd need to see at the very least 2 wins in amongst those 5 opponents. So we'll see what they can do in the coming weeks.
Well, I think we mentioned it last week. They've only been able to beat who's in front of them, and the majority of their games they've done so. They obviously played a very good side last week in IK, but in terms of the mid-pack teams, they've shown that they can take it right up and beat them so far. As you mentioned, a very tough stretch coming up. But another big positive for them, as I was talking to young Jackson Foon before, who's been playing a lot of senior footy, they haven't had any real injury to their senior list so far in 2023. I don't want to put the moz on them or anything, but no injury is a really positive sign as we get to the middle stretch of the season. So if they're to stay healthy, I think they can really take it up to those teams in the next stretch, and it'll really be a measuring stick, a great measuring stick in the next month for them. If they're to come out, like you said, with a couple wins, or if they come out and they don't win any of them, it'll really show them where they're at. But yeah, I think a few of those games are massive. Obviously, they have Narnagoon. They'll be really interested in the result there at Warrigal today, as it's really a massive game at Western Park today, as those two teams try and make their finals charge. As the Stars go forward, great mark from Zakari. He's played on instantly. Going to full forward. Can't quite mark it. His teammate there, Dude, putting his head over it once again. It'll be a stoppage. So either way that goes, that result between the Dusties and the Goon today, the losing side is really put out now, having to make up the ground, as Dalston had the win on both of them, I believe. So you're right, Baz, this is a huge win for them. As Murata brings it outside, defensive 50. His kick's not great though. And he finds Suda. Suda goes short, good kick. Here is Zakari, and his kick's good as well. So does Griffiths have a shot here? I think he probably deserves to. Put the icing on the cake of another splendid performance for him. Still looking for an option. It's a tad on short, and now he goes short, and good kick. Not too much further inside 50 really, but maybe he backs in the leg of Jack Tennis Greenhall more than his own. And that's who's got it. Told to back himself in from the faithful.
This one's yours, Jack, come on!
So Jack Tennis Greenhall comes in from about 45. Kicks on the way, it won't have the legs. Trying to climb over the top of McLean there. Oh, it's a good goal, I think, out the back. Waiting for the goal umpire to approve. No. So it's slick work on the goal line there with the crumbs, but not to be.
And I'm just having a look at Garfield's next 5 as well. Tooradin, Warrigal, Kui Rap, Phillip Island, Currambara. So that's not the hardest fixture, but I wouldn't certainly say it was easy. But they've definitely got some opportunities to pick up wins, I'd say, against Kui Rap and Currambara, maybe even Warrigal as well. But
he's one-on-one with Thomas and Suda, but it falls to the back and the chest of Pickering. He's copped a battering today as he gets up slowly once again. And you're right, Baz. And I think something they'll be looking for, obviously, they've probably lost a few too many games to start their season to think about finals. But as Pickering's nearly run down, the tackle wasn't quite good enough from Barry, though. And it's intercept mark the same from Doof. Dropped that one. And it's inside 50 for the Stars. Can someone make something out of this? No. But the Stars and Coach Paul, Coach Paul Carvis, sorry, I was stumbling there. Pickering and McLean go at it, and Marsh can't quite get his kick away. Here's Tennis Greenhall, much the same. He's actually found it distant. His kick inside 50 is a good one. Punched away from Harris, though, who's been good today. Yeah, they'll just be looking for, Paul Carvis will just be looking for his side to play the right way, to play with a lot of heart and intent, and we've certainly seen that the 2 times we've had the Stars this year. Yeah, they've had some decent losses in those games, but they certainly play their footy the right way. They're brave, and as long as they keep playing together and they keep their core group together, I think they'll be back at the top in no time. The dribbling kick was never going to work there. I think it was Zakari, and he's jumped on top of by Ireland. But yeah, I think across that stretch it may be hard, as you were saying, Baz, but I think they play the right way, and if they continue to do so, they'll keep having fun with their footy. And that's all that really matters as you're rebuilding in this league. Kick smothered there. Here's Tennis Greenhall. Tried to get it to the man in space. Zakari did well. Snap across the body. It's there. That's a great late goal from Theo Zakari.
Must be his first goal as well.
And they get around him, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. They don't really care what's on the scoreboard at this point. They just care about building their footy club back up, and they're just doing it in such a nice way. They're becoming a lot of people's second favourite team. They're certainly mine at the moment. And it's just great to see the way they go about it, and it's awesome to see Theo Zakari getting a goal there.
Well, the Garfield Football Club haven't won a flag since 2013, decade ago this year, but geez, they are certainly looking like a group that are on the up for the next couple years. So,
2 wingmen here for both sides.
Here we go. Once again, McLean off by hands to Thomas, to Marotta, who runs through, and that is far too easy for the Maggies, but apparently not, because Marotta goes to the left of goal. As we're 24 minutes into this one, can't be too much time left. 13, 14, 92, play 6, 10, 46. And it has been a good day for Dalston.
Another good thing to watch for Garfield as well. Dalston have been in a similar position with a young side, and they're playing obviously really good footy now, and they take it up to the top team. So I don't think Garfield's too far away from that, maybe a year or two. But the Pies, definitely a great team to watch in 2023. Tennis Greenhall, his kick in the middle is a good one, but lost in the sun was his teammate there. As Monson puts the Pies back inside 50, but not to a teammate. It's another intercept mark. Tennis Greenhall to the other Tennis Greenhall. This is Ben. And wheels and goes. It's in the path of his teammate. It's cut off by Monson. So hasn't quite hit the heights he did last week, Brad Monson, but still played his role really well. His left boot's found his ruckman in Thomas, and he's got Hallahan, Baz.
So Hallahan through the middle, then that's Marotta leading, good overhead grab, then goes off his line, turns around, looking for Duve, who's found himself up forward. McLean wants the footy, but Duve might just want to goal himself here. And he looks like he wants to go for it. Duve, who's been one of the best on ground today. This shot may be after the siren. We'll have to wait and see. So Duve goes well off his line, swings it across. Has the distance, but most definitely not the accuracy. Wow! What a grab! And as he kicked it as well. Oh no! Oh jeez, I thought he took the mark, but no, went over the boundary line. I think that was Storr.
Umpire just robbing us of another highlight there.
Jeez. I think that was Storr.
It was.
Could have gone for number 6 as Duve intercepts it well. Enters inside 50 again, this time looking for McLean, who sort of dribbled it like a basketball before Garfield exited outside of defensive 50. Monson's going to beat Diston to the footy. Tries to keep it in bounds. Just stays alive. Plays it in the deck. And geez, impressive stuff how the ball is still in play as Davey lost it. Garfield just trying to stay composed. Saws got it out, and there's your siren to mark off what has been a good day of footy. But Dalston were just too good in that final term, and they are 47-point victors today.
It's interesting, they won the first contest last year against Garfield by the same margin. But they're much improved this season.
No Sean Burgoyne either today. So
And they've done it again without, the great Silk Sean Burgoyne, this time away from home. They were simply too good, too fast and too strong in the fourth quarter. And they run away with the win, the Pies. And as we've been saying throughout the broadcast, they certainly look primed to make something out of this season. It's great to see them back. And they got contributions around the board today, Baz, but as we move into our post-game show, who did you give your one vote to today?
Mum.
Pretty good. No. I would have just gone with an honourable mention, but no, that's fair enough. I can see how you give her one. Yeah,
100%. In all seriousness, one vote. Jeez, it's really tough one. I'm going to go Curtis Murphy. Especially that third term, I reckon he was probably best on ground in the third quarter. His ability to move in and out of traffic, and he even had a couple of breaks just right through the corridor in that game. It was a really entertaining player to watch, especially after he had a bit of a quiet contest last week against IK. It was good to see him back.
Yeah, I had a few. It's a very hard one to choose. Like I said, probably the hardest we've had this season in terms of players from both sides are really eligible, I thought, despite the margin. I want to give a few honourable mentions, obviously, to Mark Griffiths. I think he was just mega, especially losing Reece Murphy and obviously Nicholas Lang as well, two older heads in the team. He lost both of them. His leadership was tremendous. His attack on the footy was great as well, and his ball movement. The young fella for Dalston, Max Connell, found a lot of space. I thought he was exciting.
Suter.
They sort of moved a lot of players into different positions today, Dalston.
Yeah.
We saw Brad Monson on a wing, where he was more suited down back last week, but they all played their roles really well. We saw Duve off half back this week as well, and obviously I've got to give the vote to someone. I thought Bose was good as well, but I've just got to sneak in Zach Suter for one vote. I think he battled really hard with Duve all day when Duve did go into the middle. And he gave Garfield so much run. He always puts his head over it as well. So Zach Suter's my one vote. Who's your two?
2 votes. Oh, jeez. I'm going to give it to Brayden Doof. His work in and around the contest today and through the middle of the ground was great, and even his ability to intercept, especially in that first quarter as well, off at half back, and we even saw him push up forward on occasion as well and get a couple inside 50s towards his name. So yeah, if it wasn't for the next guy putting on an absolute masterclass, I definitely would have given Doof the 3 votes, but he only got my 2 today.
Well, I've probably got your 3, but I'm going to give my 2 to Mason Storr. I think in the first half he was a bit touch and go. He had the goal, but he didn't really assert himself in the contest. He was held well by the Garfield defence, which was, again, excellent. But in that second half, he really showed that he's a cut above, and he's one of the league's best forwards, and he finished the game, obviously, with a bag of 5. So I've got Mason Storr as my 2 votes, and who'd you have as the best of field?
Yeah, 3 votes. I had Mason Storr. In his second half, his ability to open up the game was just brilliant. He took a couple really good contested marks, and then I don't recall him missing any as well, but even if he did, 5 goals is still an extremely good effort against a gallant Garfield defence as well. So, geez, it was hard to choose between him and Duve, but it was just the 5 goals were hard to go past for me for Mason Storr.
Yeah, I had Brayden Duve, as you mentioned, when you gave him 2. just the way he set them up, his leadership was tremendous. He's been a really good recruit for them. He's definitely someone they needed last year. It's definitely the sort of player and the leadership as well. And I really like the move to halfback. We saw him play a lot of inside midfielder last week against IK, but he just looked a bit freer on halfback. He read the ball a lot more. Obviously, it's a lot easier when you're behind the football. And he set them up really well, and he always got to the right spot and obviously used his body tremendously to sort of, you can just see it gets their side going. It almost gives them momentum the way he throws his body at the ball every contest. So he had a great battle with Zach Suter as well, like I mentioned, but in the end he was the difference.
So that will do us all for this week for the Fairhaven Homes Match of the Round stream in the West Gippsland League. It was a really good contest today. I have been your play-by-play commentator, Bailey Allen, joined by my co-commentator in Aidan Box. It was the Dalston Footy Club beating Garfield by 47 points.